So I haven't really done a segment on pain and kind of the hypocrisy in our society when it comes around pain and suffering and why Jilly Juice is being mischaracterized as a type of a torture type of protocol. So let's explore the world of pain. I had my ears pierced as a child. Okay. Um, I went through pain all the time because my ears were always infected. I always had to put peroxide on my ears because the earrings that I had, for whatever reason, my body was having an allergic reaction. What else? Let's explore other areas of pain that parents put their kids through. And it's okay. Circumcision is another voluntary pain for various different reasons. There has been controversy around circumcision. There has been now, like, people are now choosing not to circumcise their children because of the type of torture it is for the child. And I would actually have to agree that circumcision is really truly not needed. You can teach your child how to clean if that is the argument of why they do circumcision. A lot of parents do circumcision because they don't want their kid to look different than the other kids. Okay. So there's a lot of different reasons why we put our kids voluntarily through some kind of pain and torture. What other voluntary pain types of things? People get tattoos. That's painful. What else do people do? They do, BDSM. Okay. Now, these are things that obviously adults make choices on. When it comes to our kids, this is where people think that, oh God, Jilly Juice and animals and children and Jilly Juice is like, so bad. But when you look at what the actual practices are out there in the mainstream, people voluntarily put their animals through pain, whether it's declawing their cat because they don't want the cat to destroy their furniture, whether it's cropping the ears on a pit bull, that's painful, or cropping the tail on certain animals. I don't know if it's Doberman pinschers that they do that. So it's sort of hypocritical. Actually, it's completely hypocritical to talk about how J-Juice is so horrible because you go through a pain sequence that actually is a healing process because of mutations and what people are enduring, and they have to heal. But then people voluntarily put themselves under plastic surgery because they want to look a certain way. They voluntarily put their children through circumcision. They voluntarily put their children through getting their ears pierced when they're newborns. Don't you think that's painful for your child? When we do circumcision on a child, that's another painful sequence that there is no anesthesia. I mean, if you actually, which I've seen certain posts, through the holistic groups that are against circumcision, they show kind of what they do with, because I've never had a baby, so I don't know, and never had a boy baby, so I have no idea what the whole actual process is. But when they showed certain things, they don't use local anesthesia, because I'm thinking local anesthesia would be too strong for the child. So they basically put the child, they just strap the child down and they cut off part of their most sensitive part of their body, which is the end of the penis. That is painful. That's probably more painful than somebody going through a healing symptom on J-Juice. That's probably more painful than an animal healing from mutations from generations on the J-Juice. But yet our society is so gravitate towards the pain. And when you're addicted to getting tattoos, you're addicted to the pain / hormone of the pleasure, because then pain becomes pleasure because it's the body's way of allowing it to be able to endure that type of voluntary torture. Now, believe me, I think tattoos are beautiful, but you're getting, like, I got a tattoo for my ring finger, my husband and I did, and it took them 45 freaking minutes to do this little tattoo. And it's not that it's faded from the J juice, it's that they took them forever because I kept pulling my hand away. My husband's ring on his finger is dark, and it took them 5 minutes to do his ring. It took them 45 freaking minutes to do this. I won't even jab myself to find out what blood type I am because I don't want to voluntarily put myself through any pain that really isn't going to give me any return on my investment. It's only to prove something to somebody else. And I don't believe in doing that. I don't believe in putting myself or anybody in pain for the freaking hell of it. But people do. So with J juice, we're actually taking the pain sequence, utilizing it in the right way, and understanding what it actually means to be in pain. So when somebody gives their kid a circumcision and the kid's crying and screaming, and the parent is like, whatever, and the parent also is against J juice, because I know there's parents out there that are against J juice, but are perfectly fine with strapping their male child and getting their penis, snipped off at the end. But you know that the body's saying, this is not right. We're trying to heal from that voluntary snip. Okay? That's why pain is there, because it's the body trying to heal from a mutation. When you get plastic surgery, when you go get all these things done, things lanced off, things smoothed out, things done over there in Hollywood, people voluntarily put themselves under the knife so they can look better. I think that's a misuse of the pain sequence. Okay? When you purposely get your dog's ears cropped because you want them to look like a fighting pit bull, that is a misuse of pain. Oh yeah, the dog will heal. Yeah, they're under local anesthesia or heavy anesthesia, and then, they'll just heal. The bandages are on the dog's ears, bandages are on their tail. And you know that dog is suffering. When you declaw a cat, the cat's claws are supposed to be there. When you declaw a cat, you know that cat's in pain from that. And there is legislation being put through to stop people from declawing their animals because it's inhumane. Okay? So I'm really tired of the hypocrisy around the J juice and how it's like damaging people, but people have no trouble putting their kids through a certain kind of torture out there, whether it's circumcision, getting their ears pierced, or whatever else that's voluntary. Okay, some parents are allowing their kids to go get breast implants when they reach high school. Okay, you're voluntarily putting your kid under a knife, and they're going to be going through pain because the body's going to try to heal from that mutation. People go get tattoos, the same thing. So our society has a very messed up perspective on pain and how it's being used. And now the J juice is giving people an understanding the other side of how pain can be used. Okay? And so with the whole thing with J juice is you have mutations from generations, generational mutations that you've inherited from your parents, the antibodies that was passed down from mother to child. And this is why you see family medical history of the same types of diseases in most families. Why you see families look relatively the same. They've inherited the same obesity or the same skinniness or the same, mannerisms. Okay, so you've inherited all these different mutations. And we already know that there have been centuries and centuries and generations of mutations. And so when you are in pain in our society, in the allopathic holistic world, it's the body trying to survive, but you're not giving it what it needs. And so what does the medical system do? Which is perfectly fine because it's how we've been taught for many, many years. They help you adapt to your mutations. They try to mitigate the pain, and then you pass away. They try to help you adapt to the pain until you pass away. And then on top of that, you're voluntarily putting your kids through torture. You're voluntarily putting your animals through torture. You're voluntarily putting yourself through torture. But yet you have an issue with J juice. You have an issue with somebody actually putting the pain sequence to an actual effective, beneficial use, not some superficial, oh yeah, my kid has to look like every other kid, so I don't mind getting a circumcision. My kid has to look cute with earrings, so I'm going to punch holes in their ear. And I had infected ears from having my ears pierced. That was freaking painful. And I dealt with that for so many years. Finally, they had to take the earrings out because I could never, ever get used to those gold posts in my ears. My body did not like it. And I still don't wear jewelry today. The jewelry that I've worn before, that I've had, would always give me some kind of rash. I would always have some kind of weird allergic reaction to some kind of fake metal, whatever. And even if it was a high grade metal, like a 14 karat gold, I still don't see a reason to wear anything really on myself. But people will do that, and they will purposely put themselves in painful situations because of appearance. Girls will wear high heels and it'll mess up their feet and they'll be in pain all day long. Okay? But hey, they're wearing Steve Madden shoes. Oh yeah, they look cool. They look trendy. They'll wear the most uncomfortable corsets and the most uncomfortable costumes, and they'll be in pain all freaking day long. But no, that's more acceptable than somebody trying to heal their body. I think that's a little hypocritical and very superficial and shallow. But yet, this is our society. I don't like wearing lace because it's scratchy. I don't like wearing wool because it's uncomfortable. I don't like wearing booty shorts because I don't like shit going up my ass. It's painful. I don't like wearing G-strings because I don't like anything going up my ass in any way except for my finger if I have to take the poop out. And you can ask all my debunkers about that because they'll give you all the evidence in the world that I'm making sure that I'm getting the poop out. But I don't like on a daily basis wearing a G-string or wearing lace because it's uncomfortable. We should not voluntarily torture ourselves so we can look good for somebody, so we can fit in with society. And that's the mentality out there of the people who don't like J-Juice, because they think pain should be only for appearance and for superficial stuff like their boys looking like every other boy out there, or their girls looking cute in earrings, or having really cute tattoos all over their body, which, okay, fine, but that still is an addiction to the pleasure hormone. Because when you voluntarily get stabbed by a bunch of needles over a period of time, and people will sit in the freaking chair and they will be writhing in pain, oh my God, and yet they'll still sit there. It's like, that's like voluntary torture. What the hell? I don't see any point in that. But yet they have a problem with J-Juice, and someone trying to heal from their cancer disease and chronic illness, or they're trying to keep their dog alive because a dog has generational mutations. They don't want to see their dog have a heart attack or a stroke or Cushing's disease. And so nutrition will bring up the pain sequence because it needs to heal from those years of abuse, of reproducing on mutated bodies. That's exactly what J-Juice does. It corrects the mutations from generations because it's strategic nutrition, and it's expressing the prostaglandin hormone that aids in the healing process. So when you're out there, you know, getting your tattoos, voluntarily sitting in a chair for 6 hours, getting like a huge sleeve on your arm, and some of you are now totally like immune to the pain. You actually, now it's pleasure because the body's like, okay, fine, I give up. You're going to torture me, fine. And they don't feel a thing, but you know that that's doing a number on their system. So people will voluntarily do this stuff, but yet, you know, when someone voluntarily takes a J-Juice so they can heal, it's like, holy crap, you've like done blasphemy. Oh, but no, you'll put yourself in a chair, or you'll get your kid chopped off at birth. Well, I mean, as far as getting their penis circumcised. You'll give your kids, you know, your girls, gold posts in their ears at like 2 years old or less than that, as a baby. Okay? So I think we have a definite hypocrisy out there for those that don't understand pain around the J-Juice. And this is huge because we don't realize how much voluntarily we put ourselves through torture. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else that's in our society that people have voluntarily put themselves through besides plastic surgery, besides earrings and circumcision and wearing high heels and that don't fit you very well. What else? Oh yeah, sticking around very, abusive people. There are people that will stick around an abusive partner, like seriously an abusive partner, and it's painful because they're getting hit. I mean, abused women, domestic violence, people are enduring the pain of domestic violence, voluntarily putting themselves and their kids through situations. And even though I understand it is a psychological issue, it's still voluntarily exposing yourself to abuse, which is painful. But it's not giving you any return on your investment. There is no healing going on when you stay in an abusive marriage or an abusive relationship or with an abusive best friend or an abusive boss or an abusive mother or an abusive father. Okay? We have really, like, the pain threshold in our society is huge. Like, it is huge, but it's not. And that's the contradictions that we live in our society, is that we will voluntarily put our kids and ourselves through pain, but then also be like, hey, we don't want pain, give us all the anesthetizing drugs possible, because we keep putting ourselves through this pain, because the body is trying to heal from mutations in our behaviors, our relationships, our wanting to fit in, aesthetics, all of that will force us to go through the pain sequence because we want to fit in. And then we ask biotech and whoever else to then help us get anesthetized to help us endure having to fit in so our kids can look cute. Okay, so when someone says, oh my God, Jillian's giving the Jilly Juice to her dog and the dog was in pain at one point, because it went through healing. What did you do to your kid when it went through the hospital to go get a circumcision? What did you do to your child when you got their earrings done at 6 months, years old? Okay, how is that any different? But yet you're doing it for aesthetics. I'm doing it to keep my dog alive. But no, getting, a circumcision or getting earrings is not a matter of life and death. But J-juice on a mutated body is a matter of life and death. And yeah, you got to go through the pain. Some people's pains are going to be a lot more than others because of the amount of mutations. So let's think about, and then people that do the whole bondage, the BDSM, people that cut themselves. Okay? I mean, yes, it's a mental illness when you are cutting yourself, but that's what's going on. People are voluntarily putting themselves in pain for a lot of different reasons. Now, why would Jilly Juice be? Because I know I had to go through the pain to heal, but it comes from a different context. When you purposely damage yourself with a razor and you're cutting yourself, or you're purposely taking needles with ink and you're putting it in your body so you can look cute, well, that's a different context. You're purposely mutilating yourself. When you're doing the piercings, people get piercings all over their bodies. They are purposely putting themselves through pain and torture. But yet they have a problem with J-juice and the pain along with that. It's a little hypocritical. So just start thinking about, if you are against J-juice, what kind of voluntary torture have you put your children through so that way they can look cute and then they can fit in? What kind of voluntary torture do you put your family through because of your imbalances? I mean, are you yelling all the time? Do you have a major hormonal imbalance to where you're yelling and you're smacking your kids or smacking your husband or wife, or you're, alcoholic, terrorizing everybody around you when you're drunk? Think about how much pain you guys inflict on your loved ones. That may not be the same as the Jilly Juice pain, but it's still pain that you're voluntarily putting people through, as well as yourself. And then what you're allowing people to do to you too, because that's why you do it to others. But that's in a different context. J-juice is in the right element context. J-juice is not illegal, but alcoholics who beat up their family, drunk drivers who hit and kill people, who inflict pain on other families, that's illegal. But yet we accept that more than J-juice. Why is that? There's a skewed whole perspective on pain in our society. And when somebody says, okay, I'm not going to go and get a circumcision or pierce my, or crop my dog's ears or do anything like, superficial, shallow, and aesthetic, but I want to heal, and this is my voluntary pain thing that I'm doing. Why is that any different? Why would you discriminate against somebody healing versus somebody cropping their dog's ears, getting a circumcision, as well as an ear piercing on a baby who has no choice in the matter? Tell me why my pain choice is not as good as yours. Tell me that. Okay, something to think about. Our society is full of pain because people are voluntarily doing it, or they're trying to heal from trauma, trying to heal from mutations. And we all have choices. It's not illegal to get a tattoo. It's not illegal to get circumcision. It's not illegal to get your ears pierced. But you still put your kid through that pain. You still put yourself through that pain. You voluntarily took that on. And nobody is like stigmatizing well, some people stigmatize tattoos. Some people think that yeah, some of the Jews stigmatize tattoos because it represents the tattoos they received in the gas chambers before they went, through the Holocaust. So there's some people that don't like the tattoos, but there are people that don't like the circumcision too. But then there are people that do. It's the parent's choice on what they do with their child. Now, at some point, will legislation come in and say, okay, this is actually torture to a child to not give them any kind of anesthesia, which they probably couldn't handle anyways, and cut off the most sensitive part of their body, which is their penis, part of their penis, not all of it, but part of their penis. That is huge. And we voluntarily do that to our kids every single time they're born. Okay? So I think it's hypocritical to talk about how J-Juice is torturing people who are so desperate, but yet we are victimizing a baby who has no choice in the matter to get things chopped off or to get things poked through because it looks cute, or animals that are getting their tails cropped off because it's aesthetics, or getting their ears cropped off because it's aesthetics. I'm so happy I have a dog from the shelter who didn't get her ears cropped off. I'm so happy my dog never endured that type of aesthetic choice of a person who is all about how their dog looks. Okay? So the fact that Sugar had to go through a little bit of pain to deal with her generational mutations is far better, and a far better return on the investment than somebody getting their dog's ears chopped, cropped, the tail cropped, and putting their baby through a circumcision with no anesthesia. So we all have choices that are legal when it comes to pain. Circumcision is legal. Tattoos are legal. Earrings are legal. BDSM through consenting adults is legal. Wearing high heels that don't fit you very well, but you want to look cute is legal because that's your choice on enduring that pain. Wearing a corset is legal, but that squeezes your ribs so that way you can have a tiny waist. Wearing these costumes that are completely uncomfortable and painful is legal because that is your choice. Getting plastic surgery, going under the knife voluntarily so you can have bigger boobs and smoother skin, that's legal because that is your choice because you want to look good for whatever reason. Okay, fine. And then J-Juice, which is probiotic, and we have to go through pain because we have generational mutations, that also is legal too. So we're all voluntarily putting ourselves through pain, but the context of J-Juice has a far better return on the investment, in my opinion. The reason why is because some people think that getting plastic surgery so they can make $1 billion is a far better return on their investment. They would be right. So it's a matter of your perspective, your outlook on what is a good return on your investment. And if you think getting $1 million while you're alive for you're getting a nose job so you can have that modeling contract, more power to you. On my end, I don't mind going through the pain because it will give me a far better return on my investment in the long run, not in the short run. So it's a matter of how far or how near or whatever you're looking at getting that return on the investment. So let's put this whole thing with the pain to rest, the whole thing with how dangerous J-Juice is, because because it's no more dangerous or painful than somebody voluntarily torturing their kids. Okay? And I know there's mothers out there that don't like the JJs because they think that I'm victimizing children and mothers and animals, but they have no problem giving their kids to the system to do whatever they got to do. And sometimes anesthesia isn't always being used with some of the procedures that are out there. But they have no problem doing that, but they have an issue with J-juice. Hypocrisy runs rampant in our society. So let's put things in perspective. Have a good day.